Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Reagan, and today I'm going to be talking about reasons why it is so hard to just be present and enjoy the moment in the modern day. And this is something that I've been thinking about lately because I have been trying to bring more attention to being present in moments of life and just enjoying things as they come and not overthinking about everything. And it is fucking hard. And I feel like, especially in the society we live in, and all of the overconsumption of media, as I've talked about in all my other, not all, but in my other videos and episodes, it's something that a lot of people struggle with. And I think a lot of us can say you want to be more present, you want to enjoy the moment, you want to just enjoy quality time with your family or actually find more happiness in the day to day. But it's hard to actually get yourself to do that. And today I want to talk about why that is, my experience with it, and some of the things that have helped me to actually chill the fuck out and come into those moments of true presence and happiness. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you all here, and I hope you enjoy the content that I'm putting out for you guys. Really appreciate if you comment, let me know what you thought. I will respond, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. And with that, let's get started. So, my background, I actually recorded a whole podcast episode that's coming out within the next couple weeks. Starting a new podcast. But anyways, my whole background was one where I was always so stressed out. I've lived in chronic stress for at least 8+ years of my life up until last year is when I actually started to come out of it. And let me tell you, for someone who's chronically stressed, telling them to just be in the moment and just be present is really hard. Like when your brain is constantly running at 500,000 miles per hour and you're always thinking about the next thing you have to do or this responsibility or blah, 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 you just have so much going on. How the fuck are you supposed to be like, I'm just gonna sit and really absorb all the energy of this moment and just really take a sensual sip of my coffee and just have the best day ever and just be in my body and just not even think anything at all, just enjoy the moment. You are not fucking doing that. You don't give a shit. Your brain, if you're someone who's always stressed out, is wired to, what do I have to be stressed about right now? What is my responsibility? How am I going to take care of it? How's it going to happen? What's the next thing I have to go to? Blah, 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 blah. We're always thinking about everything else externally outside of us that we have to either handle and manage or take responsibility for or complete and get done. And when you're living in that type of way, you cannot just snap out of it and expect yourself to be able to just be present and focused when that is your baseline state. Because as I've referenced in other videos, when you are used to something as your baseline state of safety or baseline state, like always being stressed out or always being worried or anxious, overthinking, etc., name any of the modern society ailments mentally, when you're used to that, that is what your brain deems as safe. So straying from that is something that feels unsafe, and unsafety and the unknown to your brain can equal death. So it's really hard to break away from those types of that pattern of thinking when you're used to it. And that's why I think being present for a lot of people is really hard, because you're always worrying about something, or you've just never actually been present and feeling like in your body and not in your head. And that's a lot of people will say on social media or the interwebs or advice or coaches or whatever, just be in your body and not in your head. How the fuck are you supposed to know how to do that when you're only used to thinking in your head? It's really hard. It's actually really, really hard. And I want to bring more awareness to that, because for me, as someone who was a chronic overthinker, saying feel in your body and be more present and just feel your emotions, when that's completely foreign to you and you haven't actually fully processed your emotions and given yourself space to do so from however many years in the past, you're like, is something wrong with me? What do you mean feel my body? What are you talking? I don't know what you mean. I literally don't know what you mean. And not even knowing what it feels like to be present and to be in your body is another massive block for people. And it was a massive block for me in my past. And one of the things that helped me to get out of it is reflecting. I'm still not perfect with it, but reflecting on moments where you actually aren't thinking and don't feel present, like being out with your friends or playing a sport that you love or just doing an activity like that. That type of feeling, when you're just in the zone and you're not really thinking about anything and you're just really enjoying, that is being present. That's being more in your body. So that's kind of a reference point for people. When you can actually learn to shut off your brain and stop thinking, it is extremely freeing. but it is something that takes much longer than you would expect from watching coaches on Instagram just say, go to this course and you'll heal it in 2 days or something crazy like that. You know what I mean? Like this is an epidemic, in my opinion, that is really hard for a lot of people to deal with. But in being present, you get to actually enjoy life so much more because you're not thinking about what could go wrong or what you need to do next or the people who need to be tended to or whatever your situation might be. You're just enjoying the moment, and that is what actually allows you to live a more fulfilling life, is more of being present in the moment, in your body, feeling, rather than thinking and analyzing and worrying. So just that discrepancy and how foreign being present and being in your body can be to a lot of people, me, like my past self included, is something that I think is a massive block for a lot of people, just to just be present. I also think a big problem is with our society. You ever go to a restaurant and there are like 50,000 TVs and you're trying to sit down and have a conversation, but you literally cannot keep eye contact with the person across from you because you have 15,000 moving parts all around you and it is so hard to stay focused? That is the society we live in. Think about your phones, think about ads, think about commercials, think about anything. Everything is designed to pop out and grab your attention because our brains, something that is just randomly moving, like it's kind of a survival instinct to be like, what the fuck is that? Or like, what's over there? Is that something that's gonna hurt me, or is that something that can help me? Like, what is going on? You are automatically programmed to assess a change in your environment just naturally and instinctually, right? Like if you're in a room, something moves, everyone's like, the hell was that? Kind of funny to think about, like primal brains in that sense, just be like, oh, what's moving over there? But that's really how our brains work. And I realized it today when I was on a tab for work, and one of those like auto-generated ads that are like the weirdest things that could possibly pop up came up, and it keeps moving and it keeps cycling through. But when it changes, like I kept looking at that part of the screen, I was like, oh my god, can this ad just fuck off? Like I don't want to look at it right now, but it just keeps popping up. That is one of a million things in our modern world, whether it's family and relationships or something online or TV or whatever. Everything is just always trying to grab for your attention. So this video kind of overlaps with the video I did about why it's so important to be protective of your attention, I think 2 videos ago from this. So if you want to watch that for some more insight too, feel free to check it out. I think it was really good. Anyways, so that also doesn't help in terms of being present, because there's just always something going on that is just demanding your present attention. That's like draining the accessible energy that you have to just be present in the moment that you have, right? It's really hard. So with that, the ways that I have learned to be more present that have really helped me, I've said this in other videos, but well, actually I haven't said this. As someone who always used to rush everywhere and be super stressed out and have to be like go 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 all the time, when I notice myself being in that same type of rushing state, or like really overwhelmed and freaking out and like no giving myself no breaks and just going constantly, like my brain's running on overdrive, when I notice myself in those moments of rush, I can more consciously be like, whoa, deep breath. Why are we rushing right now? Why are we freaking out? Let's just like settle back into the moment. No one is gonna die. Like the dishes will get done. Nobody is going to fall on the floor and collapse and die if you are 5 minutes late to something. Like it is just not that serious in most cases. Obviously there are exceptions, use your discernment, but a lot of the time when we're just on overdrive and rushing around to things, or like out with friends but thinking about a million things going on at work and blah 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 blah, blah, all your energy being external to you, realize that. Just be conscious of it, be aware of it, and then be like, okay, I'm going to consciously choose to put those things in the box. Do your best to do this. I know it's a lot easier said than done, but try to push those things to the side if you can, if you're like out and about with people, or if you're just doing something on your own, just like take a second and stop and say, this is not the end of the world. That can be handled later. This is not my problem right now. I can focus on this, or I do not need to be rushing through this right now. I'm going to intentionally slow down my movements. Like I'll do this when I'm cleaning sometimes. I was doing it when I was cleaning today. Doing the dishes, unloading the dishwasher, like fixing everything at once. I was like freaking out, and I was like, why am I rushing? Do not need to rush. And then I consciously, literally, like, just move my arms slower. Not as a sloth, but I move slower and I try to actually consciously not be as go, 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 rush. Because we all know when we get into a state of rushing and doing and handling many things at once, it's really hard to get out of if you're not really aware that you're doing it in the first place. And especially when it's something like working all day, handling all the things, or being out for an extended period of time, and then you try to come home and relax and wind down. If you don't have a transition period, or you're not consciously aware of how much your brain has been running on overdrive, and you don't give yourself time to actually just fucking sit there, like just sit for like 2 minutes, or some type of transition where you don't have to think, or you can just be for even 2 minutes, it causes a massive change in your internal state, which then improves the rest of your night in the case that you're coming home from work or something like that, because now you're actually more relaxed, you're not as much on work mode, constant go, 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 and you can just take a second, have more energy to reflect on what do you want to do, what needs tending to, like, what do I want to eat for dinner, what goes on. Side note for adulthood and making dinner, why does it take, like, you set up, you prep to cook, right? You're like, I'm gonna cook dinner tonight, it's gonna be fine, and it ends up taking you like an hour and a half. What the fuck? Like, why does cooking is a time vortex. It literally is a black hole. But that was a complete tangent. Anyways, so that just the awareness of when I'm always in that state of rush, and then actively telling myself I don't need to rush right now and it's fine, just taking a deep breath and moving on slower, that has been very helpful for me. And also, not necessarily when I'm rushing around all the time, but just in general throughout the day, I will try to actively take, again, literally on the scale of a couple minutes, take a couple minutes to just put all the work stuff down, like walk away from my desk or put my phone away or leave it somewhere else, and just go stand outside for a little bit, or go do something else, or just do something that doesn't require my constant brain work and focus, because giving yourself those breaks kind of gives you time to reset and be like, not as, again, go, 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 rushing, blackout to how much your brain's actually working and how much energy you're actually putting out. You know? Because we all start every day with generally a finite amount of energy, right? Like, you can't realistically work an infinite amount in one day and then still feel alive and well at the end of the day. Like, most people can't do that. So if you give yourself breaks throughout the day to recharge a little bit, you're going to be a lot better off come the end of the day, because it's like you will have given yourself time again to recharge and rejuvenate a little bit, rather than going full burnout and then having to charge from like 20% battery up to 100. It's kind of like an iPhone, right? Like, you want to keep your energy higher, you use maybe 20% of your energy for the morning or whatever, 20-30% in the morning, and then if you give yourself 2 minutes to charge back up to 80-90%, whatever, and then run another 20 and then charge back up, you're gonna have more energy than if you go from 100 to 20% and then try to charge up at the end of the day. It's gonna take a lot longer for you to feel rejuvenated and actually alive and give time and energy to the things that you want to give that to after work or after taking care of other people or things like that. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. That metaphor and analogy just came through. I come up with a lot of random metaphors and analogies. If you go to my TikTok, you'll see some, like taking out the trash. Fun fact, that actually was a metaphor. But although it was true. But anyways, so yeah, those are my tips for being more present. Another tip for being more present, I could say, is leave your phone somewhere that you can't reach it. I used to be someone who, like a lot of people, wake up and go on social media for a little bit. I don't do that anymore. And honestly, I get really annoyed. Like, I get agitated by my phone being near me in the morning, because I'm like, I don't want to talk to you right now. Like, leave me alone. That's literally how I feel towards my phone. I'm like, go away. But you need it for your alarm, and if you leave it downstairs, you're gonna need it up, like, in the morning sometimes. It's just not feasible for me to just leave my phone in another room, as many people will give you the advice to do. But when you do have the opportunity, especially in the morning, so you don't start your day off and start your programming of your brain as like social media or dopamine, whatever, try to leave your phone somewhere where you're not going to touch it, especially if you are prone to just picking it up automatically, because your brain is more distracted even when a phone is just out, because you know there's like a potential for your time to be interrupted by your phone or someone to need you. You're very accessible when your phone is out, right? So when you take that away, your conscious brain is kind of like, oh, I don't really need to think about that anymore. Bloop. And you're not as much wanting to scroll Instagram every 2 seconds or look at TikTok or text someone back. That's been really helpful for me. It's hard to do, especially when you want to talk to people or you have things to handle. Again, easier said than done. And all these things take practice. But when you think about it, they're not huge shifts. It's not like it's revolutionary moving mountains here. It's just the main factor is awareness and bringing conscious energy to it. As I say in my YouTube description, like a main factor for the things that I've been able to change and improve in my life, mentally, physically, emotionally, etc., is just bringing awareness to it. So that's what I hope I can do for you guys today. That was the whole point of this episode video. Like I said, I will have a podcast coming out within the next couple weeks. I have to get it all set up and everything, but it's recorded and I have the art for it and everything. So like, I'm so excited. I've been waiting to start for so long, guys. So long. So YouTube crowd, I'm looking to you. Carry the Spotify listener category. All 70 of you. I'm so grateful for any new people, by the way, and old, obviously. But just if you guys don't even know me, you come to my channel, you watch my videos, you're like, I like what she said, bloop, and you hit subscribe, you make my day. Truly, love you all so much. With that, follow me on Instagram, TikTok if you would like more of my short form content or just my random spree of reels and things that I think are funny. And with that, I will see you guys next week. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Go be your most organic selves, and I will talk to you next week. Bye, guys.